going to be talking about Boom. Oh, there's been a ton of updates since the informational meeting that came out back in June. We're going to talk about it. If you are new or returning, welcome. Here at It's All Primary, we talk teacher side hustles. I don't know if you can see them. This is Milo. Hello. But I did a video back in June. I'll give a screenshot right there. And it was about the informational meeting. Eric Omeg, one of the co-founders, dropped some bombs. One was that all Boom cards had to have accessibility tools. The second one was that, was there a second one? No, I think that was the main one. But they were also looking at that 10% external fees. No, I think that was an email. But anyways, and I called it. I said they're going to drop that 10% on TPT sellers. They did. I think it came out July 1st and they gave TPT sellers 1 month's notice. So effective August 1st, all external sales, including Boom sales on Teachers Pay Teachers, would incur a 10% fee, which means that as a TPT seller, if you have a $3 product, on a Boom product on TPT, once you had that sale, you get 20% off, right, for their fees. And then Boom would take 10%. That's 30% off a single deck. There already exists a 10% fee off Boom bundles. We'll talk about that in the second half of this video. But, I mean, people were just outraged. There were a lot of people, and I think the knee-jerk reaction was to close it all. In fact, a lot of people said that. Boom sales are way down. Up until this summer, I hadn't had a Boom sale since April. I've had one this month for August. For the first half of this video, we're going to talk about the accessibility tools, including the alt text. And they have some new icons on your decks, which is something that I had asked about. So I'm glad they've done that. And I don't think they did because of me, but I think this was something that should have been there on the decks. And then the other thing is we're going to talk about is that 10% external sale. Initially, when the information went out, Boom was requiring all sellers to have accessibility tools added to each of their decks. That has now changed already. So it is now optional if you are not a premier publisher. A premier publisher is someone who has jumped all the Boom hoops and had their stuff audited, and it's got standards attached and all their decks and all yada, yada, yada. They pay a certain fee and then they get this badge on their store. I will show you one. But those people, those sellers that have this premier publisher, I thought they were going to be initially required to have all their decks accessibility. No, that's not the case either. Now it is most of the decks. So I'm thinking if you have 100 decks, then I don't know what they consider most, 80%? I'm not sure. So let me turn the camera this way towards my screen so you can see. We're going to go into my studio. We're going to go into my decks, and I'll show you what some of these icons look like. All right, I am in my studio in Boom Learning, and what I want to do is I want to go down to my decks. All right. And now you can see blue icons, green icons, red icons. They all mean something. So the green one is shows me it's published, ready to be purchased. On some of these, I'll go down a little bit, there is a blue star. That means I have featured this deck in my store. Okay, so if I go back to my store, just like in Teachers Pay Teachers, you can do featured products, and I don't think there's a limit here, but if I go to click featured, these are the decks that are featured, and I have some that are single decks and some that are bundles. Okay, let me go back to Studio and decks. So the red here, so if I look at, actually let's look at this one because I've already been working on this deck right here, making 10, find the missing add-in. I have red, red, and red. So basically that means it is not motor accessible, is the finger, audio is the middle one, the ear, and the eyes is the visual. So I do not have them ready for accessibility. Okay, but if you go to my very first deck over here where they are blue, this deck has passed accessibility requirements. Yay, actually I've got two that are all blue. So let's go into this third one here, making 10. And I'll show you where I have made corrections already and where I have not. Let me just move the screen here. So if I go to slide or card 1, on the side here, I've got everything is good to go. You want to make sure under your selectable list that everything is in the order that you would want it to be seen. If you can go into preview, you kind of want to just hit your tab and it will tell you which way it's going to go. But basically I personally like to work from top down. So I've got my sound at the top, the text is next, and then the image. Now this particular image is a whole image here. So it's got this little fox, Arctic fox with a 10 frame. Now this is where some people are, you know, discussing like, how do I do this without giving away the answer? And for me, what I did was I wrote under this image. So I clicked on this image text and I could have just put none. It doesn't, this is not going to work, but I think I made it work. Let me show you what I did here. I clicked the image and then this comes up and so again, I could do none if I want the screen reader to ignore this. But what I did was I wrote this. I wrote a 10 frame image with a bean, a bean, a bean, a bean, a bean, and a bean in it. 6. And what they have to do in this is the question is how many more to make 10. Now, I already see my mistake here because someone who can visually see this would have a much easier time, but basically I want them to click on the right answer. I didn't say that. So I need to actually change my sound card to include click on the right answer. Actually, what I can do here is I can click this. How many more to make 10? Click on the right number. The sound actually doesn't say that. So now I'd have to think, okay, I gotta probably add that. And then each of the numbers are there. Number 4, number 3, number 5 for my images. The green check mark is the right answer. Someone asked in the Facebook group, can you have more than one? Yes, you absolutely can. You can have more than one. I have not finished this deck, right? So I'm still working on it. I know I'm coming up to a set of cards that, let me just put it here, where they're moving little icebergs, and I'm like, okay, iceberg. I'm gonna have to, I don't know. I have to figure this out. But again, I can make the choice. If I go into my details under play, I can decide whether this is going to have accessibility tools attached to it. So I could turn off visual or motor. One of the things that you can do with these is you can add a keyboard. So on-screen keyboard, I could do that, and then a keyboard would pop up. But I think the keyboard would pop up right on top of the slide. So I'm not sure how that works. I'll have to think about that. Once I have this whole deck done, I think, then I'm just going to click where it says scan for compliance. And once I scan there, it will tell me whether there's green. So let me go back to a deck that is done. It was my easiest deck, so I thought let's start with the easiest one. And I'll go to details. And as you can see here under accessibility, the visual has been scanned, the audio has been scanned, and the motor has been scanned. Now, those scans don't include the Z order, sorry. just think Z if you're in the States, Z order. I'll be saying Z. But my goal was to try and make sure, again, my order on my selectable list is top down, text, sound, and the answers. I could have put this at the very top. I didn't, just because of room. I could have figured it out. I left it. Okay, but that's basically all I wanted to say regarding this. Again, if you don't think one of your decks is going to work, just turn off the accessibilities when you go into your details and where it says play. Let me go to Little Library of Learning, and as you can see beside her profile is her Premier Publisher badge here. It is also on top above the pictures, above the covers. So if I go to this one that has the accessibility codes, you can see them right up top here in blue, that this deck is accessible or has the tools. This does take a while. I thankfully have less than 100 products. I know many sellers have hundreds and hundreds. It's not now required, and that is a good thing. My goal is to do a couple a month. I'm keeping the pressure off. If I do 1 or 2 a month, I'm happy. If I don't, oh well. I haven't even decided. Again, sales are really down. Right now, it's not worth. So that is accessibility tools. Okay, I finished editing the video and realized they had made an update for those who use PowerPoint. So those of us who make our slides in PowerPoint, upload them, there's an issue over this whole, the images that they cannot read them. So one of the ways that they have suggested to get around that, so just cover the image. I'm going to get rid of that. Click to edit text. So it's blank. And it comes up over here as a blank text. So now I can't click on this and add anything, right? Nothing happens. So I go down the bottom here where it says text properties, and it says optional. This is where I want to add it. See, it's saying if the screen reader should ignore this, just type none. But technically, you don't want them to ignore it because they need to see that, in a sense, that read that image. So I'm going to say this is an image of a dice. I know the correct word should be die, but with little kids it's easier to understand, with a dot in each corner. Okay. It's over here in selectable list, and now I need to get it up towards the top as part of Z order or Z order. Here is where I'm going, and I'm using the back, and it gets it up before the answers. Okay. Let me know if you need any more help with that, and just shoot me a message either in the comments or send me an email. Before I forget, on Boom's blog, I think it is, there are articles on using accessibility. There's Accessibility 101 and Accessibility 201. And I sometimes go back to them and just kind of swing around. It's a YouTube video. If you need more help, they might be helpful for you. Okay, let's talk about these external fees. So Boom announced July 1st that the 10% that they normally charge to third-party platforms such as TPT would now be effective August 1st. It did not give people time, and it's also the back-to-school season. They have come back and they've said some things. If you are in the Facebook group Boom Publishers, they are posting stuff there. They are making themselves available. They've got an email. You can check with them there. So they're trying to be accommodating, but this has upset a lot of sellers. I mentioned in the previous video that the TPT search results have dropped at least 100,000. And it was going up about 100,000 each month. It's now gone down 100,000. So that even could be like technically 200,000. And I'm wondering how much of that has been TPT boom cards, right? Boom cards posted on TPT. There are a couple things here. First of all, I understand that they're not getting any money from, I say, a boom card sale. TPT is getting 20%. Boom is getting 0 because they're not getting the redemption, right? They now have this redemption thing, key that has to be filled in. If somebody tries to redeem a deck that was purchased prior to August 1st, they will not charge you, okay? They're actually going to be looking at people's charges for the months of August, September, so you shouldn't see any debits. I just so you know, I've seen a debit go through where I had a negative month. What happened was I made no sales. I think this was last June. I made no sales, but I made a bundle, a boom bundle over on TPT. And so I got the 10% charge there. So there's no changes as far as the boom bundles sold over on TPT. But anyways, that turned out to be a negative, I think it was like $3 or something like that. It was like, what? They didn't do anything. It just stayed in my account until the next month when I had a positive. They just withdrew the $3 or whatever it was. I didn't care. I've been trying to think about what I'm going to do. First of all, I went through my data and I looked to see, first of all, how many decks did I have over on TPT? And I don't have a lot. I think I had somewhere around 40, 45, 50 maybe. I looked to see, first of all, which ones have not received a single sale. And I had about 5 that had not one sale. So I just deleted them. I just got them off there. I thought, what's the point? They're just taking up space. So I removed them. They're still available on my Boom account. And then what I started doing is looking to see, for example, my top 20 resources and to see if Boom was even in them. And I only had 2 that were actually in my top 20. Your sales could look completely different. So you have to kind of look at your data and decide. I'm going to show a little picture here. The TPT seller guidelines state that a resource on TPT has to be the lowest price. So I know some people and it was even implied, which I thought was quite snarky, to be honest, by someone over at Boom, to just make your TPT products $100 and then make them only $10 over on Boom. Really? You can't do that because then you're breaking TPT's terms of use. You have to have the lowest price over on TPT. But here's something I've been thinking about, and I haven't fully done this, so it's just an idea or a suggestion. Take it, as a grain of salt. But I'm thinking, if I have a deck that is $3 on TPT and it's $3 on Boom, and it's actually selling better over on TPT than it is on Boom, but that means I'm getting 30% taken off, right? What if I add something to the deck on TPT which changes the product? It's no longer the same resource, and therefore they don't have to have the same price. So what I'm thinking of is, like I said, I'm thinking, for example, maybe I add paper versions, printables, to the deck over on TPT. So therefore it's more value. So I could actually charge more there because it's not the same. So like I said, these are things I'm thinking about, especially for the Boom cards that are selling, because I think 30% is ridiculous, to be honest. There are other platforms that don't sell, they don't charge 20%. I mean, for example, Etsy, I think is now up to 6.5%. It might be more. Please let me know if you sell on Etsy. I'd like to know. But that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money to come out of your pocket for these. I think this is an opportunity for us to think outside the box. The other thing is be careful about having TPT bundles on TPT that include boom cards. Because, for example, a couple years ago, I have different decks. I had 2 decks, and then I had some Google Slides as well. And I asked them, do I have to bundle this, or can I post them individually into this TPT bundle? And they said you can post them individually up to, they said if it's less than, I think they said 4. And so I think there is 4 or 3 decks, single decks in this TPT bundle that I've combined it with Google Slide creation resources. Now, for that one purchase, I will get debited the 3 or 4 10% off each of those. I don't like that. So now what I'm going to do is I think I have 3 that I've done this. I'm going to rejig them, and I'm actually going to make boom bundles and then take that boom bundle and add it to the TPT bundle and make one big TPT bundle with it. Because if it was a boom bundle anyways, you'd get 10%. And I was okay with that. For the higher priced ones, I'm okay with the 10%. Like I said, when it's a boom bundle, it's fine. I mean, it's not fine. I mean, like I said, I still think 30% is ridiculous. But the pricing, you can work with the pricing. If you are against all of this, then I'm going to just turn the screen a little bit, because you can actually cut the external links to all your boom cards so that they disappear from TPT. But you're going to have to be careful. I would not recommend you delete them over on TPT as opposed to just archive them. Okay? Just in case people have not redeemed them. All right? You don't want to have to be able to fork out refunds. TPT will do a refund up to a year-old sale. If you want to, I personally wouldn't bulk cancel them. I'd go through your decks and just really see how can you think outside the box to keep this product available to teachers that are selling or buying this product from you. So if you go into your under details, if I wanted to not make this available on TPT, actually I don't think it is, but let me just go over here. So it is listed over on TPT, but I have a feeling it doesn't get sales over there. So that would be an easy one to get rid of. All I have to do is just click this here, and the link that was made available would die. Like they wouldn't be able to use it, and a message would go hit somebody. This custom product ID is what they have to fill in when they do buy something over on TPT. They have to put that in, or what I can do is when I see I got a boom sale, I could type it in so that it has to match up, actually. I think that's the proper way. But that is one way. There is in your store a place where you can bulk remove them. But again, I'm not comfortable with doing that. You can, by the way, reverse it if you think you make a mistake. I'm just in the FAQ, which I use a lot, and they have a little blurb here that you actually go to your bundles. So let me go to bundles. So if I go down here, I'm in my studio, go to bundles, and then it says approved third-party sales. So if I click there and I want to get rid of it, I don't want to, I want to keep mine for now, then this is where you're going to do it, and they're going to give you one of these "are you sure" type questions. Okay, but it can be reversed, so you can remove all your products all together. Like I said, I'm not sure if I'd want to do that. I am sure that more information is going to be coming out. In fact, I have a feeling, and I could be wrong, that TPT is going to make an announcement too. So we'll see what TPT does, because there are a lot of sellers who have been contacting TPT about this. Maybe TPT will share the 20, who knows? I'm not sure. I mean, I would like Tell me what you think about all of this down below, because it is just crazy, crazy stuff. By the way, just recently, was it today? I think it was even today, this morning, there is in the Boom Publishers Facebook group a post that says to write a recommendation in your product descriptions over on TPT that you highly recommend that the buyer redeem their Boom cards within 30 days. Again, it's not required, but they're just recommending, just to get people to redeem right away so that they're not holding on to decks without redeeming them. And then you're not sure whether they're going to redeem them or not, because some people do buy things, whether they got money or whatever, I don't know. That's just a suggestion. You don't have to do that, okay? All right, it's a lot of stuff. I'm still like, I just sometimes look at the messages and go, I don't know. There is no massive time limit, it seems, not for us anyways. If you're a Boom Premier publisher, you have a little bit of a time crunch, which is next July 1st, 2025, okay? I might put out another Boom video in a couple months, depending on what other changes, either by Boom or TPT. Maybe something will be said at the next town hall meeting at TPT. If there is, I'll let you know, okay? Upcoming videos, I'm doing a video on Google Slides. I've been working on it. And I'm also doing a video on bundles, the different type of bundles. And you're gonna see me do TPT bundles. I'm even gonna show you, if I remember, a Boom bundle, okay? If you wanna do Boom bundles, all right? So wherever you are in the world, I hope you and your family are safe, being healthy, and we'll catch you. I'll do it this way, in this video or the playlist. See ya.